At the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we had Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
There you go. Come on, Katt.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
Shannon Sharp, not to tamper with those white women were coincidences? Katt Williams was the first to try to warn him, followed by Monique. Terrence Howard is now supporting him, and Shannon Sharp's whole existence is disintegrating before our very eyes. Was Shannon set up by the same machine that has destroyed so many black men before him, or was this just a case of poor decision-making? Monique Katt Williams.
Mo is different now. Than when you and I...
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
What you trying to say? Mo,
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me live my life.
Let me tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old and get you an old out there that can love you old.
Allow me to explain how the industry operates. There are teams for celebrities. Those that work for many clients include publishers, public relations representatives, agencies, and managers. Numerous well-known brands from various industries collaborate with them. And you know what? They converse. They detect trends, hear things, and alert their clients behind closed doors. Therefore, Monique and Katt Williams were not merely being paranoid or old school when they openly cautioned Shannon Sharp not to get involved with these young white women. They were sending out a warning that something was going to go wrong, as the industry does behind closed doors. However, the industry does not just penalize you when you do not listen, when you believe you are untouchable, and when strong black men start acting too openly and loudly. They use you as an example. Additionally, it always appears to have happened suddenly, but it never did, and it didn't. Now, let us look at Shannon Sharp, who can end up in jail if things do not work out. Additionally, he is now claiming that black men are the focus of discrimination.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
In other words, Katt has been yelling about this type of trap for years. Recall that Katt was not only rambling, he has experienced it. Katt has been claiming for decades that black guys are set up for failure in Hollywood. For example, when Katt Williams interviewed Black Screen TV in 2013 about his appearance in Scary Movie 5, he went into great length about how black men are weakened by Hollywood elites' sissy behavior.
At the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we had Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses.
Given the lengthy line of people who have worn dresses before him, Kevin does not have to worry about what people will think of him wearing one at the end of the day. The first, second, and third houses are Big Mama's. Medea has never been spotted wearing a pantsuit. She wears dresses, I believe. Katt claims claimed to have been arrested 36 times in 36 months back in 2012. Law enforcement was on a witch hunt, as evidenced by the fact that he had never been seen in a court of law. Law enforcement also consistently used his children against him in some way. There was even a period when the police removed his children from his workplace, and Katt claimed that he thought it was offensive that they would do so, as if he were the worst person in the world. The police at the time said that Katt had put his children in risk. Even though he acknowledged using marijuana, he maintained that there were no drugs in the house and that his guns were locked up for the safety of his children. Recall that he had also been jailed so frequently that Katt felt pressure to declare his retirement because he did not want to lose his children, and it was now too risky for them. Katt Williams was speaking from experience when he cautioned Shannon Sharp, not simply rage. The alarm is now being raised by others besides him. Terrence Howard, one of the most outspoken critics of Hollywood's treatment of black males who do not follow the norms, is among the other black men who are speaking out against the setup. Wait until you hear what Terrence had to say if you believed Katt's warning to be serious. You see, Terrence Howard did more than simply copy Williams. He dismantled the entire strategy Hollywood employs to marginalize black guys. He revealed how the industry misrepresents black males as weak, feminine, and unthreatening in an interview with Revolt, while allowing white men to remain strong. Terrence put it best: most men are made to be effeminate and not have their power or sense of strength. They allow white men to be strong, but when it's black men, it's seen as a threat. I don't want to remove a few chromosomes just to fit into someone else's story. Terrence, one of the brothers who play along, says they live. Individuals like Shannon Sharp who stand tall are crushed. And what do you know? For years, other black males, besides Terrence and Katt, have been yelling about this, but the industry has dismissed it with contempt. Black males are forced into gowns, robbed of their strength, and made into jokes, as Dave Chappelle pointed out. Wesley Snipes, Eddie Murphy, Jamie Foxx, Ving Rhames, Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart, Martin Lawrence, and even Chris Rock are just a few examples of black guys. The same trap, different roots. They break you if you do not fold, and regardless of your skill level, you level up if you do. Because he thinks that black guys in Hollywood are really set up to fail, Kanye West even spoke up for Diddy. The trap surrounding Shannon Sharp is now closing, and they are making sure anyone he crossed feels it. It is not looking good for him at all. As if all of his skeletons are finally coming out to play. Shannon was accused of choking a female production assistant while co-hosting FS1 Undisputed from 2016 to 2023, according to sources. A public lawsuit was never filed over the incident. With a confidential settlement with the Fox Sports worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, it was discreetly buried. However, Sharp's agents refuted the choking allegation, claiming it was a lighthearted exchange. And it gets worse. After their relationship soured, Michelle Evans, who says she was with Shannon for nearly 10 years, filed a lawsuit against him in 2023, accusing him of non-consensual behavior. She says Shannon forced himself on her, humiliated her, and threatened to destroy her reputation to keep her silent. Sharp, however, refuted the accusations once more, and even issued a statement in which he said, "It should be of no surprise that when someone famous is in the news, all sorts of people crawl out of the woodwork to share their connection to that person in an attempt to profit from that alleged relationship. In many cases, those stories or accusations are nothing more than old news, fanciful exaggerations, or sometimes blatant misrepresentations of fact." Gabriella Zuniga's recent shocking lawsuit, in which he claimed that Shannon had repeatedly exploited her, is the catalyst for all of this. Now, the vile facts, covert recordings, and accusations are spilling out. For his part, Shannon is disputing everything, claiming it was all agreed upon and characterizing it as a shakedown or blackmail. He added that the accused showed a heavily edited and secretly recorded video to support her narrative while refusing to hand over the full version to Shannon Sharp legal team. They also pointed to explicit text messages allegedly sent by Gabriella that indicated enthusiastic consent and participation in fantasies, and that the evidence changed a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, intimate language, and fantasy scenarios. To keep things quiet, he even offered Gabriella a $10 million settlement, but she rejected the offer. Shannon now claims that, like Michelle Evans, she is just another woman attempting to take advantage of him. Since he declined to be the father of her child, he says it is all about getting even. Shannon continues to insist that he has been very open about the nature of his connection with Gabriella from the beginning, which is why they had a 2-year consensual relationship. Sharp claims that she turned to extortion after discovering that he would not father a child with her. However, this is no longer the case, even if Shannon was prepared to give her a sizable sum of money to keep the private parts of his life hidden, as many well-known people frequently do when they feel threatened. Sharp is leaving ESPN, but he intends to rejoin the network for the 2025 football season, according to his most recent statement. To clear up any confusion, Shannon Sharp was not fired by ESPN. Nevertheless, he has chosen to temporarily resign from his position in order to devote himself to his family and the baseless accusation that was made against him. Right now, it is more about how hard they are trying to bring Shannon Sharp down than it is about whether they will succeed, because the industry machine works fast when strong black men begin to win too loudly, move too freely, or cross the lines they have been given. All of a sudden, the same setting that embraced you becomes a trap. Furthermore, it is not arbitrary when OGs like Terrence, Monique, and Katt Williams issue warnings. This is something they have witnessed far too often. Since the computer completes the task once it has set you up, there have even been suggestions that Shannon could be arrested as a result of all of this. Tell me what you think. Was Shannon destined for destruction from the beginning, or was he reckless?